comparing, right? Comparing America and China and Korea and then Japan, right? In terms of eye contact, right? I really feel that here people don't make eye contact at all, right? They just try to avoid it very much.
They're
Shy about it. And you know, when you're on the train, nobody looks at each other. They're all looking at their phone like this, right? Like when I'm talking to people, right? For me to look them in the eye, sometimes I can tell that people will kind of feel like uncomfortable rather quickly, right? Because I like to look at people in the eyes when I talk to them. The other thing is like in BJJ, right? So in jiu-jitsu, right, there's a time when everybody's rolling when we're sparring. But usually it's like you have to kind of select your partner, right? Like, okay, yeah, you and me, okay, let's go. Basically, I noticed that as soon as I make contact with another person, he's like, okay, we're going, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna spar. And I wasn't, I didn't mean that. Like, I'm just looking at everybody. You know, maybe I'm just like smiling at him, I wanna give him a thumbs up. So there's that, right?
If you look into their eyes, they might feel that you want to get fight to them.
So for men, right? For men. And there's one time, right, where I rolled with someone in BJJ. I had a sparring session, and he did something that I felt was kind of rude, right? Like you don't do that to your training partner, right? And then I looked at him, and I was angry, right? So I like looked at him, like what was that? Why'd you do that? You know? And then he started to get really upset, right? And so he's like, you know,
he's like,
yeah. He's exactly right. That's exactly what happened, right?
It doesn't make him feel like, oh, that's an alarm that you're upset about something,
right?
But he just makes feel more like, oh, you want to fight more?
Yeah, and so to me, you know, of course it's miscommunication. We sorted it out. It's okay, right? But it's so much easier to get to that point, right? Whereas, like, if it's an American buddy, you know, I can look at him for a little bit and be like, what the heck was that? You know, and like, we'll just kind of stare at each other and be like, you know, right? Then we'll figure it out. But for Japanese, it's like immediately, like there's no interim. Like, why are you staring at me?
Yeah, especially for guys.
You know?
Yeah.
Right?
There's sometimes, also because it's in the martial arts. In martial arts, or sports things, eye contact has already started the fight.
Yeah. Actually, that's the reason why I got kicked by a sumo wrestler when I was 14, too.
Right? Like, when I was little, watching at the Japanese TV to watch small, you can see that whenever, before they start the really to bump to each other, they will have like almost 2 or 3 minutes to stare at each other.
Yeah. So, I mean, one side is the eye contact, but I think that goes for a lot of other small bodily gestures, right? That like in Japan, because people are so reserved and they don't make a lot of gestures, they don't gesture a lot and they don't make a lot of eye contact. When someone does gesture, or when someone does make a move, or when someone does have eye contact, it means more, right? Or it's interpreted as meaning more.
Yeah,
right?
Make them nervous.
Yeah. So it's just one thing. Like sometimes in China, I would get so frustrated because somebody would be staring at me. And I'd get mad and I'd stare right back at them. But they wouldn't care. They're just like, they just keep staring at me, you know, like.
They will never move their eyes from you.
Yeah, I'm like.
They're still curious, but this foreigner guy is looking at me.
Look what color his eyes are. Wow, you know, like this, right? Right? Like he just doesn't get the message. Like stop looking at me, right? But here, as if I'm on the train or something and someone's looking at me, even they're just looking at this direction, and I turn and I make eye contact with them immediately.
Yeah, immediately. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, most of the times a lot of people don't stare at other people in Japan.
Yeah.
They think it's very rude, very impolite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the very interesting thing is even kids don't do that a lot, I think, generally.
Yeah, well, I mean, kids...
It's unnormal for me. I mean,
kids are curious, right?
yeah.
Yeah, when I was 14, though, I went to the swimming pool in Nagoya, and I went to the men's changing room to get my swimsuit on, and there were 3 boys, and they literally just stood there, 3 of them, and just watched me. You know, like, they wanted to know, is everything the same? Or, like, they were really curious, you know?
Yeah. Right. Kids are kids.
Yeah, so but yeah, I think that that's the case too. I think it's that even kids can be more sensitive to it, at least, right?
Right.
And they learn to interpret the signs from their parents,
Right.
right? The way that people behave.